What's one cool thing about having a movie that has elements of your life in it, and what's one not so cool thing about having a movie with elements of your life in it?
That's a great question. I've never been asked that, and that's a really good question. I would say that a good thing is that I'm able to open up and share, and this is the most important thing. I'm able to open my soul to everybody and show them without fear what really happened to me, what my life was like, and what I did to turn it all around, and what inspired me, which was God. I think that's.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. We are Razed Typical.
Razed Typical, and this is our third episode, right, Ben?
Hallelujah.
Ben is very excited. Every Tuesday, he really enjoys the show.
It feels like the late night show with Jimmy Fallon. But
yeah,
it's not.
You think so?
Are
we that level, that caliber?
The late night show of Razed Typical. So,
I love it. I love it
too. I love it.
So this week we have a new guest.
Oh, we do. We have a new friend. I met him at a church. His name is David Vincent Bobb. Bobb was born in 1970 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which was pretty cool.
So Ben, how did you meet David?
So I met him at the church, and we in Percy. Dad was like, "Let's go to this event," and the See Jesus group told me about this guy, and I'm like, "Oh, I want to meet him." And then I didn't know I was going to meet his son. So me and his son bond together. We really got connected like right away. He said he loves pizza. He loves pepperoni.
You love pizza, right?
I love pizza.
Yeah.
I love any type of pizza.
Yeah.
And he likes diet root beer floats.
Yeah, and so David has directed and written his own film, and so we're actually going to watch the trailer for that film now. But it has elements of his life tied into it, and it's a really heartfelt story about fatherhood and what it takes to be a father. So we're gonna hop into that trailer, and then we'll bring David on, and we'll start the show.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome David Vincent Bobb.
All right, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you being here, guys. Thanks a lot.
Of course.
Great to see you, Ben and Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are really happy to have you, and we're excited to hop into it. So Ben, do you have a question to start us off?
I do. I have a very great question. I think the best way to get to know somebody is through their taste buds. What's your favorite restaurant to eat at?
Who, mine?
Yeah.
You and Christian.
This is Christian, by the way.
Yeah, this is Christian, David's son.
Hi, Christian. You're the best.
So Ben loves eating.
You know what's crazy is I've eaten at some pretty decent restaurants. When I was doing the movie thing in New York, the actor thing, I worked in a French bistro actually, and they had amazing food. It wasn't like owned by Frenchmen. It was just a couple of New Yorkers that really knew a lot about good cooking. So that I would say I really enjoy their style of cooking, the French food. I had, duck, like cassoulet. They had duck that was like just soaking in its own juices overnight for days at a time, and then and sear it. And they had pommes frites, which are their version of French fries. And
what?
Yeah,
I have to go there. I have to go to New York to eat that.
Yeah. It's called Couture's Beast, and it's still there. One of the owners died. Unfortunately, one of the two owners died, but they moved around the corner. It's on the Upper East Side of New York City. And to be honest with you, what was really cool about that place also was that's where I started getting the inspiration to write the story of the script. But while I was there, it was right in the middle of the Upper East Side, which is like a lot of very rich people live there, and a lot of people that are very artistic. And we had actors and people that wrote books and newscasters. I met so many people there. It was unbelievable. John Cleese came in one night. I was just beside myself. I love Holy Grail, Monty Python. If you ask me that question, there's your predestined answer.
Yeah, I love it.
The Holy Grail is one of my favorite movies ever. Comedy.
I've never seen
drama.
it.
So yeah,
You've never seen it?
I've never seen the Holy Grail.
Oh man,
put it on your list, Ben.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that together one of these nights.
I've actually seen the Mommy in math class one time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The Mummy. It's not quite the same though.
the Holy Grail. I've never
Monty
heard of it.
Python and the Holy Grail. That is quite the.
But that Ben says The Mummy. I was in a movie directed by the same director, Stephen Sommers, who directed The Mummy.
What?
Also directed The Jungle Book, which I was in right after I got out of the Marines. I went into acting, and one of the first things I ever did was I was an extra in The Jungle Book. They filmed it in some jungle in South Carolina.
Was that a Disney movie?
Soldier. Disney, yeah. The first big film I ever did was Disney. Which
That's
is amazing.
So cool.
Yeah,
when I went to,
world, man.
Yeah, right. When I went to college,
Stephen Sommers. Yeah.
Okay. It was like right outside of Atlanta is where I went to college, and they filmed so many movies in Atlanta, which is crazy.
The Olympics was in Atlanta.
You're right. That's true.
The Ritual Jewel movie was really good too.
Yeah.
What school was that you went to?
It's called Toccoa Falls. It's a small Christian school, but it's like 40 minutes south of Atlanta. Okay. And basically, there was a couple times that some people I know ended up going to Atlanta because they wanted to be extras in movies.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we're going to drive up and we're going to make it happen. And I was like, that's good for you guys.
Yeah, they film a lot of movies down there.
Yeah, they really do.
They film a lot of movies in Philadelphia, too.
Sometimes they do.
The new one with, what's his name?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Invincible, man. Come on,
yeah,
Eagles, man.
Yeah.
Invincible, I like that
That's
one.
true.
And then the new one, there's a new one that, what's his name? I
don't know.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. See,
that's all right, Ben. Okay. We'll skip past it for
me.
now. We'll hop into the next question here. So that's Ben's first question is always food. For me, I think the best way to get to know someone is to find out what makes them angry. So what's something, David and Christian, that make you guys mad?
What makes you angry? Nothing.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
It wasn't that way always. He's come a long way, believe me. He's very in control of his emotions now. It's amazing what's happened to him, but he's definitely came into his own. I can tell you that for sure, being his dad and raising him by myself.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I don't think to be honest, and he's right. I mean, I haven't seen him get very angry lately in the past, I would say few months to year.
Yeah.
Before COVID, we've and you think you would be entrapped in the same place for a long time, but he's really kept us cool and really handled this thing well.
I love that.
I would say the one thing that makes me angry, man, I don't want to get too political, but
sure,
it's just someone that you can't depend on. It's just the way the country's being run right now. I'm not happy at all about it.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people suffering because of it, and that's what makes me angry is to watch other people suffer. I don't want to blame it all on Biden. I don't think he's in charge right now, to be honest with you. I think other people are pulling the strings, but I don't like to see other people suffer. And you guys, my movie's is a testament of that.
Yeah,
it's my life story, and I want to share it so people don't have to go through. Use it kind of as a warning to kids, the younger generation, as a warning. This is what could happen if you decide to go that route.
Right. Right.
It's like choosing a path. Like you go down one way or you go down the other way.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right, Ben.
It's something I've talked about with a lot of friends of mine in the past, and it's just I think the open honesty is huge for you made a whole film about things that happen in your life that you could really consider personal and emotional and things that people struggle to share, and I think that struggle people have with sharing things that they've done or the past in their life, I think that hinders other people, because when you can be open and honest, you really help others, like you said, avoid but also grow. And I think that can help way more than sheltering the things that we're kind of afraid to admit that we did in the past.
It's a leap of faith, and it takes a lot of courage, and I've been told that to do something like that, like to put yourself out there. And I think it's some great points, Dan, but I think that's what gives people the courage to do it, to see that that's what I want to do. I want to instill them with that courage. If they don't have the courage, or they don't have well, you just say the courage to tell people, hey, I'm suffering with this problem of addiction. What do I do? Where can I go?
Right.
It's kind of like a guide for them, and hopefully inspires them. I've had people, I'll tell you, at every screening, Dan and Ben, I've had people come up to me, at least one person will come up to me and say they've lost somebody to an addiction. And most recently, it seems like there's a rash of heroin a lot of people, a woman came up to me at the last screening and said, I just lost my daughter to a heroin addiction. And the first thing I say is, I'm sorry, and I wish you would have saw this film, because I've also had people tell me they stayed sober another day after they saw my film. So that's what you want to hear.
And I think more and more people need to hear about your film in the community and in schools. I think I should let my school know. Like, I'm gonna blast this out to tell people to come out and watch it on the 12th.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm sure we're gonna talk about that later a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely are. So this is actually a good segue. We had someone in the comments ask what some of Christian's hobbies are. And I know that's Ben's next question, is hobbies, right?
Yeah, and we could go around. I'm flexible if we don't get to all the questions, but I know Christian. I heard you love stars and astronomy, which is pretty cool. My friend Francis Burke studies at Pitt, and he went for like stars and
he's a big math guy, right?
Physicist, I think.
An astrophysicist.
Yes,
because I know he's a big math guy.
Yeah,
and so he's at Pitt doing that, which is
he's crazy. I don't know how he does. And Sarah, our cousin, studied something like that.
Yeah, similar too. Yeah, but this is about Christian right now.
Yeah, so Christian. Let me hear about your idea about stars.
But that's a great. You know what? Before you continue, like, stand up just a little bit. I asked him what he wanted to wear tonight. Stand up a little. Show me.
Oh yeah, I think I see it.
I love it, Christian. He loves it.
Yes.
I want to wear my NASA shirt. I said, all right, cool.
That's perfect.
And just a little funny side note, this shirt was actually worn in the movie by Adam. You probably saw it in the trailer.
I was going to say, I think I've seen that shirt before. I love it.
Shout out to Adam. Yeah.
Adam's from Bucks County.
Yeah?
Yep. Yeah. So
dang, that's so cool.
CB West.
Yeah, he went to CB East or West. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Played football. Yeah, he was a standout. But anyway.
We probably beat him because I went to North Penn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam.
So Ben, you got a question about hobbies, right? But David, what do you like to do in your free time?
Let's have Christian answer that one first.
Yeah, sure.
Is that all right?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you do? What's your favorite hobby? Things to do?
Astronomy, playing video games, explore abandoned places.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's into astronomy, as we all know. It's covered in the film too, but he loves abandoned places. Like, I got a funny story about that actually. One time he told me he wanted to go to this abandoned place, and it was like a 2-hour drive almost. It was near Philly, right?
Yeah.
What was it again?
Philadelphia State Hospital.
Yeah, so apparently it was I was like, all right, we'll go check it out. And then we get there and it's a patch of grass. And he's like, yeah, this is it. And I'm like, where's the hospital? He's like, oh, it's not here anymore. I said, what?
I love it.
That's the thing though. It's like I was just starting to learn what this was really all about. And it was like, he wants to go to places, even if the building's not there anymore. He likes to go to places and visit places that are abandoned.
That's cool.
It's something he started getting into.
I think he told me about Six Flags New Orleans, because that's an abandoned place. Remember that, Christian?
Yeah. Betty's Park.
Really?
Yeah, he told me about that.
Six Flags New Orleans.
Because I remember that on YouTube, because there was it used to be a park, and it got hit by Hurricane, not Katrina, yes, in 2005.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah,
and then Batman the Ride was there, and it went underwater and everything. So they had to, so that roller coaster at the old Six Flags Park is now at Six Flags San Antonio, and they had to rename it Goliath, because if they renamed it Batman, it would be a copy of the different, because it's 4 hours from each park.
Interesting. So you can see Ben's hobby, right, is the theme parks.
Have you been to Hershey Park, Ben?
I love Hershey Park.
Yeah, it's right near us, man. It's about 15 minutes.
We'll have to go at Christmas, or we'll have to go.
Yeah, try and plan a trip or something. That'd be fun.
Chocolate World, man, get the free piece of chocolate.
Oh man, I love Chocolate World.
Ben hates candy, right?
No, I used to love. I didn't like chocolate when I was a kid. Can I talk about my funny Hershey Park stories?
You can.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go back. My first roller coaster was Super Duper Rooper at Hershey Park, and I said to my mom, I really don't want to go on, and Dad goes, Ben, if you get on, I'm going to take you to Chocolate World. I said, all right, Dad. Wah! Dad, is my head going to come off? Oh, Ben, come here, sweetie. It's not going to come off. God made it perfectly still and strong.
And did your head come off at the end?
It did not come off at the end, and now I have an iron stomach.
And you ride any roller coaster?
I ride any roller coaster. I rode one like 10 times in a row at Dollywood, Wild Eagle.
It's too much.
Ben, I got a question for you then.
Yeah.
What is the most I got into this kick where I was looking at all these roller coasters online and I was trying to figure out which one was the most scariest or fastest or highest or whatever. What's the most top ranked like roller coaster you've ever been on? Like the scariest or fastest? Do you remember?
I think I was scared of Kingda Ka when I was a kid, but now I'm not.
Oh, you went on that?
I've been on that. I've been on that one like 3 times in a row.
Oh, 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, man. Even I
And there was no line one day, and they were like, hey, if you want to stay on, you can stay on. So I rode twice in a row.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
People won't even ride that thing once.
I love Kingda Ka. And, I just don't know what it is. I love driving the Six Flags. Hey, Christian, have you been to Six Flags?
I don't think we've been there, no.
No.
I'm actually gonna go this weekend. You should go to Six Flags with me sometime.
Yeah, maybe to do a trip to the one in New Orleans, the little abandoned Six Flags.
There you go.
There you go.
I actually really wanted to go. They actually filmed Jurassic Park there. I don't know if you knew that.
That's another cool fact too.
It's on
Oh, I
YouTube.
didn't know that.
Yeah. But I remember one time we went to Six Flags, and when we came up to the parking lot, you could see Kingda Ka, and no joke, it went up into a cloud and then came back down. Like, I was like, there's no way I'm riding a roller coaster that is going through a cloud.
When it comes back down?
Yeah. So it goes like this. It goes like zoom.
Yeah.
And it goes like
What's
that.
the scariest part?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You don't get scared at all.
No.
Wow.
Wild.
And you know what else, Dan? We've been to Geauga Lake. That's another abandoned park.
Really?
Remember that used to be in Ohio?
When did we go?
2006, before it closed.
Oh.
So there used to be Six Flags Ohio.
Okay.
And then it sold. Then it went back to Six Flags something. Six Flags Wars of Adventure. Then it went back to Geauga Lake at Cedar Fair. And then Cedar Fair sold it.
Okay, and now it's abandoned?
And now it's abandoned park.
There you go. Who would have known? Lots of abandoned theme parks out there.
Yeah, and Hershey Park has that new coaster too. That's pretty scary.
Oh, the chocolate. Chocolate. Oh man, I can't talk about this.
No, not Stormrunner.
No, it's the chocolate.
There's a new one.
Candymonium.
Oh, here's an interesting question from the audience here. Christian, how do you feel about like SpaceX and all the Mars exploration stuff? Do you have any feelings about that?
You think about us going to Mars?
Going to Mars?
Yeah. SpaceX. You know SpaceX?
Yeah.
The rockets that's Tesla guy, right?
Yeah, Elon Musk. Yeah.
Elon Musk, yeah. He sends up a rocket and it comes back down, and now they're sending people out to space, real rich people.
Yeah.
So
I think SpaceX's goal, and I don't know when they'll get there, but I think their ultimate goal was to try and put a colony on Mars.
Yeah.
I would love to go to space.
It would be pretty cool.
It would be like a roller coaster. I wouldn't be afraid.
Yeah, Christian, if you had the opportunity, like right now, if someone said, hey, you can go to space right now, would you go?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would go with you. I would sit right next to you.
Yeah.
I would go to the moon, like putt-putt. I remember that game.
Do you think that would be the scariest roller coaster, Ben?
Oh, my word. No, it would not. Going to the moon? Absolutely not.
Wow. You're too much. All right, Ben, what's the next question you got here?
Okay, so let's get into some serious questions.
Oh,
because
some
I need to
serious
focus.
questions.
Uh-oh.
Okay, done. Which one should we do? I'll do this one.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. Because we talked about the community event, or we talked about community. We talked about household, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There are a lot of people who are working jobs they don't like. What's something that you encourage them, that you would say to them?
So I think Ben knows that like film and acting is something, David, that you really enjoy doing. And so we know for a period you were doing work so that you could keep doing the thing you liked to do. What kind of encouragement would you give to somebody that kind of is in a place they maybe don't want to be, but know they have to at least keep doing that job?
I would say that's a great question, actually. And I did things. The crazy thing about me was I did things to support the bad habits that I had. Like I worked in a restaurant to make a lot of money so I could buy more drinks. You know what I mean? It was like it was a vicious cycle. And I even talk about that in the film, or my character does. Waking up every day feeling that guilt of wasting all my money and squandering away everything I had. eventually till I had nothing and I was homeless. But what I would tell people is if you're caught, so you're saying if you're caught in a job or caught somewhere in your life in general, where you don't feel like you want to be, and what do you do about it?
Yeah.
You know what I did, to be honest with you? I just prayed. I mean, faith really, I didn't, and that's the thing. This film is like it kind of rides that secular, non-secular border. You know, I'm sure, you know, you saw it, you could see that. It doesn't jam religion down your throat or faith, but it does tell you, it's my way of telling you what I did, what worked for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. But if you ask me what I recommend, I'd say that, if you do have a priest you could go talk to, or a leader at your church that, you know, an addiction minister, somebody that can kind of guide you. There's people out there that do that. The problem is people that are in addiction, either number one, don't want the help, they don't really care, or number two, they don't know it's there. So my purpose right now is to just get the word out there that they are there. I actually had somebody come up to me at the screening that Ben came to at the church, and where was that again, Ben? Doylestown, right?
It was actually Percy.
That's right, Percy. It was next to Doylestown, but somebody came up to me and asked me if where Bethesda Mission was, and I had some literature, and I gave them some literature. So
that's awesome.
They were curious about the Bethesda Mission and where I went from my recovery. So
I
would tell anybody, just, you can't tell people, you can tell them to please just don't give up, you know, seek help, but really you can only help somebody so much. They gotta want it themselves. And that was the one thing I dealt with that was the hardest. Is that I kept relapsing because I didn't truly, within my soul, want to fix myself. My addiction was so strong that I lied to myself and to everybody so many times. And that's why I was in and out of rehabs for a long time, until I found that it was only faith that was going to save me. And unfortunately, people sometimes don't make it to that far, Dan and Ben. They end up dying before they realize that you do have one more chance left, and that's what it is. And it was God for me, and that's what really saved me. I had a mom, my mother, bless her. She put up with so much with me, and she's the one that kind of guided me on that. You know, and you see that in the film. She guided me to where I needed to be. They in the end, they loved me with really tough love. They did it because they loved me. They didn't want to see me suffer, but they put me, I had to put myself through that, really. And they left me out there pretty much to dry, to realize myself that the predicament I was in wasn't going to change unless I did something about it. And when you're at the bottom, at the end of your rope, at the bottom of your barrel, and you're sitting in a jail, which I was, because I got a DUI and I never went to the court case. I didn't actually get it too deeply into that. We just kind of showed Ethan in jail, the guy that plays, you know, the character based on me. We show him in jail, but if I could have filmed what I really wanted to film, I don't know that everybody'd be able to see the film. Be
sure.
But you have to make it so, you know, you can get as many people in there, and hopefully it'll affect their lives and inspire them and save them. But I would say, if you find yourself at the end of your rope and know where to turn, know that God's always there. He's always there, always. And just get to there's churches everywhere. If you don't belong to one, if you're homeless, whatever, find a mission, find a shelter. That's what I say. And if it's not as bad, if you just have a job that sucks and you don't want to do it anymore, just kind of know that everybody goes through that. I don't think there's anybody in America that likes the job that they do, or else they wouldn't do it, you know, or people wouldn't play the lottery, you know. So they don't have to work. Everybody, we're all in this ride together, you know.
It's like my dad,
get through it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like my dad. My dad goes, Ben, can you give me the lottery numbers? I said, no way, Jose.
Ben doesn't know them. We went, this was a couple years back, but our church growing up would go to a camp called Keswick. And they actually are a ministry that basically everyone that works there are people who are kind of on like I say their last chance, but it's a very similar kind of rehab situation where people come and there's no questions asked. You come, you have a place to stay, and they give you jobs to do, things to maintain. And one of the nights, and then in the summer, the facility is used as campgrounds. And so we went one summer, and our pastor had said that the night church service where all of the men and women from rehab go and kind of basically it's like an open testimonial night. He's like, that's tonight, and we really want to go. And I was like, I think 16. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so like me and a couple other guys went, and it was like really eye-opening for me to see people whose faith was very raw. Like it was very real, raw faith. Because I think I kind of grew up in that sheltered church community of like, we always go to church on Sunday because that's what we do. And to see people who had hit their rock bottom and then met the Lord there, it was very eye-opening to hear those testimonies. And so it's, once again, it's very cool that there are missions and opportunities out there for people who find themselves in these situations.
That's a really good story. And one of the things that happened that we had the red carpet premiere of the film at, in Annville, Pennsylvania. And I just actually screened there a couple of weeks ago too. But we had when we had the red carpet, there was people standing up after. I mean, and I pretty close to sold it. It seats 300. We sold about 250 tickets. People were standing up and giving testimonies afterwards. So that was really powerful. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's what you want to see, Yeah. That's worth more than anything in the world to see that happen.
Oh, he lost internet connection. Okay. So yeah, talk to him, see when he can get it back, and we'll keep it rolling here.
Yeah, if you want me to, if you want to.
He lost connection for now, so we'll see what we can make happen. But why don't I do that? I'll play the trailer again now for you guys, since we have a second.
Lucas, come on, buddy! Your daddy loves you, you gotta know it, pal. You gotta remember, there's people out there that love you, because life goes by just like that.
Prayer is a powerful thing, Ethan. It really does work, if you believe.
What reason does he have to care about some guy who's supposed to be his dad, but he's never around? I want to be there for his first words.
With God's touch, anything is possible.
I can't do it, I can't. I'm not ready for this, man.
I'm done with you.
It's 3 ways of answering. Yes, no, and wait.
We all deserve a second chance. Right, Ethan?
Alrighty, so that was the full trailer there. I'm glad that we got to show that to you guys. Thanks for bearing with us. I know you don't watch the show for this the
there
whole
he
time.
comes.
So. I think he's hopping back on here.
Should I just hang up?
Yeah.
All right. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, guys.
Can you hear me?
No problem. We can hear you. Yeah, we're gonna.
I hope that doesn't happen again. We have the highest tier internet too. That 1 gig from Comcast, and I rarely have this issue when
we were told that this morning actually that Comcast, like as a company, is having some kind of internet issues.
Yeah,
so
it went out completely today for like 30 minutes during the day.
Yeah. So it could just be some like big overarching.
Yeah,
it is kind of weird to think about. We use the internet so readily, and I don't really understand how it works.
yeah.
But no, that's totally fine. Basically, just to sum it up, because I kind of kept talking about it, but the camp that I kind of grew up going to, they open their facilities when it's an off season to any homeless that are in the area. And then they have basically all year round, they're raising money to buy supplies and necessities that they then give out to the homeless. And they house them pretty much through like November through like January, because they figure like the coldest season, they want to give them places to stay. And so just like very cool to see that there are ministries out there that really care and just want to help. So something that I wanted to ask you, David, was in the film, we see Ethan's friends do a lot for him in regards to, and you mentioned earlier, like, you know, being left hang out to dry. From a guy who really cares about his friends, I sometimes struggle when I see a friend maybe in a situation that I think that is not good for them. Like, where do you start? Like, what do you think is a good place to start when it comes to speaking out to try to help someone who's in a place that they really need help?
Well, some people can be stubborn, so it's difficult, but the best step is to just say something. See where it goes from there. They're never going to know if you say nothing. Sure. It's going to bother you because you didn't try to help. And if something bad happened to them, you'd blame yourself for it.
Yeah.
So I would say just take that first step and you know, be really calm about it. And, you know, and some people will get offended by it, I'm sure. And, but some people can, you know, it can help, you know, people. It took years for me to listening to people saying that kind of stuff, but you can be one of the voices that can be the difference. You know, you might not make a difference right away, but somewhere down the road, they're going to remember that, you know, and that's the important thing. They're going to eventually realize when enough people start telling them that their life is going in the wrong direction, they're going to want to start to change it. If they really care about themselves and about the people that are trying to help them. And that was my problem. I was so, you see in the movie when when Ethan's, the character that is based on me in the movie, when he gets yelled at by his counselor at the mission, he yells at him and he's like, I want to see my son now. And he tells him, he says, he says his fatal flaw is that all he cares about is himself and what he wants to do. And that was my biggest problem. And it actually took my mom to make me realize that. That I only cared about myself. I only cared about self-gratification. And I was just stuck on myself. And it was such a bad way to be. But if enough people tell you that and they say it enough times, you know, hopefully they can get through to you and it'll start affecting them in a positive way and they can start changing. But taking that first step is important. And like I said, it's not going to work every time, but it'll be something they won't forget. I'll tell you that. And especially if more and more people, that's why when they have these interventions, it's a group of people. It's not just one person giving their opinion about somebody. It's a whole group of people that love this person and care about them. And they're all saying, hey, we all see this. This isn't against you. We're trying to help you. So maybe an intervention would be, something you could do. Also, do you have someone that's suffering right now?
Not off the top of my head. I just know in my life growing up, I was never the boldest person, and so there are definitely times I can think about where maybe a word from me would have helped someone, and nothing, you know, crazy drastic has ever happened, which I praise the Lord for, but. I look back now as a bolder, more outgoing person. I think maybe what if I had said this or had done that? And so I think about, you know, the people who are watching that maybe they could benefit from that. And I think that's great advice because you don't have to be the voice that wins somebody over. You know, sometimes it's just another voice, but it could be that last voice they needed to really think through that situation.
Be the one. You got to at least give it a shot. You know, you got to try it.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to throw Ben for a loop because I'm going off questions here, but something that our dad has talked about often is the portrayal of fathers in Pixar type films, or even just like sitcom-y shows, like The Stupid Dad. And you see it a lot in kids' movies of like, oh, the dad's kind of this like bumbling oaf type character. And my dad, who's been, you know, very influential in both of our lives, he hates that because of how it portrays fathers. So for you, and I know a bit because I've seen the movie and you've talked a little bit about your own backstory, but what's some advice you could give for maybe a new dad or someone who is struggling with the concept of fatherhood right now?
That is a great question. And the premise of the film is it's about father and son. It's about God the Father with his son, who's me, and me with my son, and my dad with me. So there's a lot of father and son stuff going on there. I don't know if you caught that or not.
Yeah.
But hold on one second. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can still hear you. Can you hear us still? Oh, we just lost you now. Now we can't hear you.
Yeah, okay. I just, I was on mute there for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. Fatherhood, you know, when it's one of those things that I embraced because when he was born, it was, you know, in the movie, we talk about how Ethan never saw his son until the very end of the, we won't give away too much, but
yeah, sure.
But that's not in my real life. I did have contact with him.
Sure.
It was just that I was so greedy about myself and so self-gratifying that I kind of blew everything else off, including my relationship with my son.
Yeah.
And that's what killed me the most. But for any father, though, from the beginning, if you're struggling with it, I would say ask your own father to help out. Ask your mother to help out. There's people in your family that do that. You know, there's women when they raise their children. I've seen this through my family too, is, you know, my mom, you know, the grandmother will help, you know, her daughter raise that kid and kind of guide them and help them. And it still happens to this day. My daughters are grown women who have their own children.
Yeah.
But there's still a strong communication that goes on between them. So I think communication is key in all of that. If a man is struggling with raising a kid or doesn't know how to do it, again, reach out, you know, to your pastor, man.
Yeah.
God has all the answers and he's the guy that can guide you.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No, it's so true.
The guy that can guide you. So yeah, I would say definitely go that route. It was something that was pretty natural for me. If I wouldn't have been on the sauce all the time, I would have been an amazing father when he was younger, but I wasn't. So he was raised by his stepfather and his mom, who was with another guy at that point. But that's beside the point. But I regretted all that. You know, I missed out on a lot of things because I wasn't there. Yeah. And I was determined to never let that happen again. And that was part of the recovery process too. Enough is enough is when it's enough. And that was it for me. I just couldn't bear the pain anymore of not being with him and knowing that he has a disability and I'm doing nothing about it. It's not only horrible that he has a disability. It's horrible the fact that I wasn't there to help. And that's what tore me apart the most. And that's how bad addiction is. Addiction will tell you that nobody, nothing, your family, it doesn't matter what it is, nothing matters but that addiction and feed me.
Yeah.
Telling you to do that every single day. And it's taking away everything that's good in your life. And it really takes you on a course. It's a crash course. Yeah. I'm sorry. I want to say it's a recipe for destruction, really, is what it is. Either you get out of it and you realize what you've done wrong and try to make things right, or you go down that path and it never ends well, ever. It ends in death or, you know, jail for life, basically. Yeah. So fatherhood, I would definitely say reach out to people in your own family. Don't be afraid to ask for help, just like with addiction.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just so thankful for our family, you know, because growing up, we had like our family 15 minutes away and 15 minutes away. Yeah. And I'm just so thankful for like my grandmother and
we had lots of times where both of our parents worked growing up, and so lots of times where we're at the grandparents' house or picked up from school by the grandparents, and
or my aunts.
Yeah, or our aunts, and lots of that. The whole family coming around to really help. I think is huge, and something that you touched on that I think I don't want to, like I said, give too much of the movie away, but I really like how the film emphasizes, towards the end, the idea that you have, you got one shot, and then any time that one chance of life, could be done, and you can't live in this like, all right, I have 15 more years to do whatever I want. You got to live each day as if it's the real day you have to live. And I think that is true for all people.
That's right. I mean, I was living, like, it's okay, I can do this again. It's called a run with addiction and alcoholics and addicts. They always say I got another run in me. It means I can go out and do it again for a couple more years, and I'll come back from it and make everything right with my family. But meanwhile, you're out there on your run and you're destroying lives, your own and other people's. So, man, I'm so glad it's over. And the coolest thing about it is when you've been sober for so long, it no longer even is a part of your life. Like, I have an amazing life now, and it's not one where I dwell on this thing every day. I don't have anything trust. Now, I always want to preface this with, I believe in AA. I really do. I think it gave me some tools to help me along the way, but God in the end, and God is one of their, it's one of the features. It's one of the big, it's the number one thing actually that guides them in AA. But I just couldn't sit in the meetings anymore and go over, listening to people. It made me want to drink, to be honest with you. Relapsed several times when I was in AA, but it does work if you work it. They say that it really does work. And there's people that have been sober until they die because they went to AA. It just wasn't for me. But the point is that, with addiction, that it does take over everything, and you have to be able to differentiate between what's good and what's not. And you have that choice, and you're sober. But once you do it long enough, once you're sober long enough, it really, the idea of that, it's no longer your life. Your life is no longer the addiction life. It's a completely different life that I live now, that it doesn't revolve around that. I don't wake up with hangovers. It's just, everything's the way it should be, the way the Lord intended it to be for me. And I realize that. And there'll be times, I'm not going to lie, I'm a human being. There'll be times when the thought will come into my head that I can have one, and it'll leave that quick too. Before, it wasn't like that. It was like, it'll come in, I'll think it out. I'll be like, okay, and I plan it. I'll do this, and this, and I can do this, and no one will see me.
Right.
And I'll tell you right now, the guilt that I would feel if I put one into my mouth right now and had a drink would be so immense it would destroy me, I'm sure. I can't live with that guilt. What's that?
RT.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what that means?
What does that mean?
Raised Typical.
Yeah.
Show.
I love it.
Yes. RT. Anyway.
No, it's good. It's great. I love it because we named the show that because what I thought was, I'm dyslexic, and so reading and writing for me were always a challenge, and even still are. But I always thought it was weird, in like old-timey English, raised, R-A-Z-E-D, meant to destroy.
Yeah.
Which it seems weird, right? Because raise also means to build. I was like, this is dumb. But Ben has constantly raised or destroyed our concept of typical. So we think like, we'll have a typical life. And then Ben came and we're like, oh, okay, this is different. This is new. And then we're like, okay, we got it figured out. We've got this kind of pattern laid out. And then Ben's like, I want to get on Ellen. And we're like, that's not what people do. And then he did it. And we're like, oh, okay. So that, you just destroy that concept too. And so the idea is a lot of people and yourself as well have lived a life, but they realized to be where they want to be, they had to kind of destroy their concept of a typical life.
Exactly.
And
or
so
or the life that they're living in.
Yeah, exactly. And so the RT stands for Raised Typical.
I love it.
Ben, I know for you, Calvary Church, right? That was a big impact.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about the church thing real quick.
Yeah.
Growing up, I had a really hard time making friends at the church.
Yeah.
And, my mom always took me to church on Sundays that I really didn't want to go. And I didn't understand. But the time that, I didn't know about the autism diagnosis. But then, going into my ninth grade and sophomore year, I'm like, Mom, I really want to leave church because I really want to go to Calvary. Because Calvary has a special needs ministry. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why we left our old church, because of the special needs ministry. And anytime I invited my friends from old church, they didn't invite me back. So it was really hard.
Yeah, and I know it's something that Ben loves to talk about is the Calvary Special Needs Ministry and just kind of the impact that they've had. Even just beyond friend group, but just lessons that I think actually are understandable.
Mm-hmm. And they hire people on the special needs ministry that do coordinators, and it's really cool. I just want to give a shout out to Jen Stute and everybody there at the Bridge Ministry. I think they're incredible ministry. I was telling David, Dan that I'd love to bring Christian when you do the movie. I'd love to have him come in on that Sunday morning and just check out the ministry.
Yeah, I might be able to make that happen. We'll see.
Yeah, man, let's plan it. Yeah, we can do that. Definitely,
that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it's just always so cool to see ministries seeing a need and then filling it, right?
Yeah.
Whether that is addiction counseling or special needs ministry, because like Ben said, we struggled early on. We have an older brother as well. So I'm 26 now.
I'm 23. I'll be 24 in May.
Yep.
And then you'll be 27 in April.
Yep. And our older brother is 29. And so me and Glenn were really set in this church because we had friends there, and we had a friend group, but we didn't realize until Ben had actually vocalized it that he was really struggling because we knew friends was a challenge for Ben, but he just wasn't even receiving really lessons because things were going over his head, and so we were able to find a church that really provided for Ben, which was huge for us, I think.
Yeah, and there's a lot more of that out there now. Thank God that unintended. Yeah. There's ministries that do that. There's churches that have those ministries now. Yeah, we don't have one at our church, but
it's
get by it.
It's something that it's definitely. And Ben talks about it when he goes to schools and presents, but over the years, autism diagnoses have just gone up and up and up and up and up. And so, through that, there's been more research, and now we're seeing as well more ministries that I think are started.
And Bethesda ministry, the See Jesus, it's called See Jesus.
Yeah.
There's another ministry that told me about the movie about you guys.
Oh, okay.
So they were started by Joe Miller and Paul Miller, and they have a group and they have a daughter. Her name is Kim, who's nonverbal and talks through an iPad.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's where you heard about my movie?
Yeah, they sent out an email.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Wow,
that's so cool.
I don't know how, but and then we met Ben, and then I met Ben at the church.
Yeah,
and that's why we're going to be at the Broad Theater coming up here.
Yeah. And I'm going to recall that
we'll be at the Calvary Church. I think Glenn and I. Your dad are going to get together and talk about that at some point. You have a ministry there that I think would be perfect for this. But
that would be awesome.
That church, that's an amazing church too. I would love to show the film there.
The one thing that I've said about them in the past is I love they have very good. I call them extracurriculars. Outside of Sunday, they have really good programs.
Yeah, I love Calvary. Charles and Jay
and that would be
Carlos
cool really, to get them
does
in there.
A great job. I think Carlos is a Giants fan, so just to let you know, I'm sorry. Sorry, Carlos. I'm shouting that out to you right now.
So I'm gonna throw Ben under the bus now a little bit. I know. So something that Ben struggles with is he will do something, and he knows it's not the best thing to do, and then he'll say he's sorry. And he'll say, I'm going to do better next time. But then that pattern reoccurs. And he does the same thing and says, I'm sorry, I'll do better next time. And then it's, we're in this like cyclical event of, I get whiplash because we're sorry and then we do it again and we're sorry. And I feel like that has similar vibes to addiction and kind of regression. So I wonder, is there any advice maybe you could give for Ben on sticking to your word and really seeing through the things you say you're going to do?
Without knowing what it is, what the tick is,
Sure.
I would say from my own experience, just to be honest with yourself before you do it, know that people are concerned that you keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
That's what was happening to me. People, they actually got tired of telling me about it, and I kind of had to on my own again. That's what it comes down to. You have to be able to be willing and honest enough with yourself to make that change. Nobody in the world is going to change the way you are except you. That's it. Don't expect anyone to come up to you and give you these words of wisdom that are going to change your life completely. You take those words in, you ingest them, and then you utilize them the best way you know how. That's what I've done to stay sober, but again, in my faith. But I would say just kind of think about it before you do it, and then know that it's the wrong thing to do, and it's just going to end up with you feeling guilty again, and you having to apologize again. And do you really want to go through that? And in the meantime, Ben, people are losing faith in you. They're saying, "Oh, this, he's not a man of his word," and you want to be a man of your word, right?
Yeah. And it's been hard because I need to start praying at night. I feel like that you brought up a really good point too. We need to start. People need to start knowing the Lord. Yeah. And I need to show it. And
it's easy to go through the motions, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to kind of get lost a little bit. I throw in kind of the loose terminology. It's not like, once again, nothing crazy, no addictions for Ben. Primarily it's just things that, like, Ben, I'll say, "Hey Ben, clean the bathroom." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I got it. I'll do it. No problem."
And I don't do it.
And he doesn't do it. And then he says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it tomorrow." And then tomorrow rolls around.
And it's kind of like my finances, but I need to get on track and be a man and step up.
Yeah, but I think
yeah, Ben, when you start doing something enough times, it becomes such repetition that it's not even a problem after that point. Just get used to doing it and just do it right away. Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I wash dishes. I hate washing dishes, but I do it so incessantly now that it doesn't even bother me anymore. I see them and I go attack them, man. I get them out of the kitchen.
Or the recycling. Dad goes, "Ben, can you do the recycling?" I'm like, "All right, I'll do it." I forget. I want to remind you again, dude. I'm like, "All right," and I do it.
You guys like taking the recycling outside.
I'm getting nervous because the internet's starting to skip again on this end.
Oh, no worries.
Guys, anyway.
Yeah, we're actually, it's crazy. It's almost 8:30, which is wild.
Yeah. I told you, Ben, if you get me talking.
Yeah, we're just shooting the breeze. I love it. Yeah. Let me do this then, at least, since we're coming towards the end and we're maybe losing the internet. I want to give you just a second to plug the movie. Like I said, our show is really all about people sharing their experiences. And you were such a great guest to have for that, because you're so much honest with your experiences. So we just want to roll out the red carpet, if you will. Just give you the second to plug the show.
Yeah, so right now we're doing a tour, and we'll be at the next screening, which was actually set up by Ben, getting the wheels rolling with it, and we got the thing going now. It's been advertised on their website. It's at the Broad Theater in Souderton. If you need information on the film, either go to the Broad Theater's website. It's broadtheater.com, I believe, or you can go to my website, beforeyoureyesfilm.com, and we have all the links that you need to get there. And the show date and everything. And this show coming up at the Broad Theater is going to be, I don't do much anymore because I have two. When I started this tour, I wanted to do churches, and I can still do it, but it's just becoming more difficult because I have a full-time job, which I didn't have before COVID. And now I have one. I have actually two. One is a volunteer thing, and the other one is something I do online every day. So I don't have a lot of time to prepare, but and it's going to get even busier because I'll be working 6 to 2, and then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'm doing a broadcast news channel at night. So really Saturday or Sunday actually is my only open day. But anyway, which is good because I go to church and then I can show the film somewhere that night, whatever, or during the day, whatever. That could be my church.
Yeah.
But the point is that it will be there at the Broad Theater, thanks to Ben Hartranft, who is also going to be a special guest there. And Dan, I'm sure you'll be there, and your parents will be there again.
Yes.
This is a big event. I think it's going to be really exciting. I want to thank Ben for putting this together for us, to getting us to this point. And also I want to thank the Broad Theater, especially Randy, who we've been dealing with, right, Ben? Randy to help us get this thing up and running. And Tina just sent an email today. She's the, I believe, assistant manager there.
I love it.
It's going to be a great. Christian, you can say goodbye. Hold on. All right, he's going to say goodbye now.
Goodbye, no worries. I love it. See you, Christian.
So that'll be the next December 12th. If anything comes up before that, just, for everybody out there that's interested in knowing about the movie, what it's about, or where they can buy a copy, or where they can view it, whether you want to watch it as screening or watch it streaming online. It's streaming all over the U.S. and the world, actually. Just go to beforeyoureyesfilm.com.
Yeah.
Although it's called Right Before Your Eyes, it's
we have a question about that specific thing right now. Somebody asked, where did you get the name for the movie from?
Okay, I can't really say, because if I gave you guys know what happens in the end. So if I said that reason, it would give away the movie to people that haven't seen it. But I can tell you this, right before your eyes is that the Lord is always there right before your eyes. And you just have to be able to open your eyes to see him. And that's what helped me through. But there's also another meaning to that. And I don't want to say what it is. And that's why you must see the movie.
Yeah.
I'll give you this little hint. I had a guy who was a professional rater of films. He basically was a what are they called? Those guys that a reviewer. He reviewed the film, and he said it was a cross between the Twilight Zone and a faith-based movie. So there you go. It has a really interesting, very interesting twist. I know I hate to use the word because
I love it.
It's got a twist, but it does.
Right.
There's something in the end that will shock you.
Yeah.
And you will not even see it coming. People that have seen it know what I'm talking about. So that's what the title of the film kind of plays into that. A lot of people have seen it, but I don't want to. That's the long answer. The short answer is because God is always there. Right.
I love it.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
I was gonna say
time.
I was going to say about the big announcement. So tune in December 12th. Come on out to the Broad Theater in Souderton.
Yeah.
We have a big showing that day. I'll be there. We're going to bring some special guests. David's going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun. And then the proceeds go to Eagles Autism Challenge.
Oh, from the movie theater, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. So shout out to the Eagles about that as well. So we'll make sure we plug the Eagles and we'll get
for sure.
So
that's the one. Another huge thing that Ben and I, I'm sure too, Dan being his brother, we all share in common is our love of the Eagles. And there, if you guys saw the film, there is a scene in there where we do I had to put it in there. I was born and raised on the Eagles since I was a little kid. I could start walking. I remember, watching Eagles games in Philly with my dad. So, and I was number 66 as a little kid playing midget football. Bill Berge,
I love it.
Hero.
Bill Berge, I love Bill Berge.
I got his jersey. I would love to meet him. I haven't met him yet, but who knows?
I've met him.
You have?
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Harold Carmichael. And Harold Carmichael's a great guy
Carmichael.
too.
There you go.
I was gonna read the last question. Okay. So, I often talk about how it would be so amazing to have a movie about my life. What is one thing that's so cool about a movie that elevates you, in it, and what is one thing that is bad about it?
Yeah, I think I'll help Ben with the phrasing there. I think I changed the wording up on him. So Ben often talks about it. We say jokes about it, but he's very serious. Ben would like a movie about his life. And we tell
Who would
Ben.
play Ben?
I would say, oh my gosh, Tom Holland.
Tom Holland would play Ben.
And you would be Nick Jonas.
I'd be Nick Jonas.
Yeah,
well, actually, how about this? You could be I think Ethan would play you.
The actor of Ethan would play.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It would be Dad.
Ben's never thought about it, not once.
You mean Adam Ratcliffe play him?
Yeah, that's what I think that's what he means. Yeah,
I think he would be a great Dan.
But your actual question, right?
Yeah.
Is what's one cool thing about having a movie that has elements of your life in it, and what's one not so cool thing about having a movie with elements of your life in it?
That's a great question. I've never been asked that, and that's a really good question. I would say that a good thing is that I'm able to open up and share, and this is the most important thing. I'm able to open my soul to everybody and show them without fear what really happened to me, what my life was like, and what I did to turn it all around, and what inspired me, which was God. I think that's the most important thing in the film, and that's what I try to convey. We try to do it without, again, jamming too much, Bible down people's throats. There's a couple quotes in there or whatever, but we try to keep it, we want to keep it secular, non-secular. We want to bring them over, without forcing them.
Yeah.
And I'd say that the bad thing about it,
the not so fun thing, maybe.
Not so fun. Well, I'll tell you what. I it was very, very hard to make it. To make the film. I'm not talking about getting the money together. That was very difficult. I had a lot of help from people with that, who believed in my story. But as a director, and it was the first film I directed, I did a lot of the acting thing in New York, but I never directed a film. It was very, very difficult to direct. It was easy to direct because I've been through it. It was my life. It was easy to tell, and I've been an actor, so it was easy for me to tell the actors what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But to watch it happen right before my eyes, there you go, right before my eyes, right before your eyes, was really, really emotional. And there were scenes that it was so difficult. And this is me being truthful here.
Yeah.
It was so hard for me to direct because the tears were just streaming out of my face. It was like a river at times. It was so difficult. And I guess that's difficult in a good way because the emotions were really there. And Dan, you said something in the beginning that's very important. And it was the acting in the film and how realistic it was. And it really was like that on the set.
Yeah.
Every single day, somebody was crying. At one point, we wanted to change the name of the movie to Cry because every day somebody, and it was always me every day because I was watching my life play out right there in front of me, and it was my dream come true, and I was able to see these people that cared so much about what I was doing that they were willing to give themselves up and really bare their own souls to show you what I was feeling. And it's really difficult to get good actors, to get an actor to do that. But I was really, really, God was behind us 100% on this journey and still is. That's why the acting is so good in this film, because they really all bought into it. They knew it was a real story and they wanted to do it justice. They didn't want to let me down. And from, Adam Ratcliffe playing me all the way down to the extra you might see for 2 seconds, everybody cared and they really put themselves into the roles emotionally. And that is what could be construed as hurting the most, but it was also a beautiful thing. But it was very difficult. If you want to put it that way, it was very difficult to film those scenes.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. That's amazing. I think we have one question from the audience here, and then we'll let you go. But we wanted to know, do you have any actors in the film who have special needs?
My son, well, he's in the epilogue at the end. You guys have seen that. But special needs in the film. We were trying to get a kid who had from my church that had Down syndrome, but that fell through. He wasn't able to do it.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. It would probably just stand out like that. Well, I was in it.
Yeah, sure.
There were a couple background actors, probably extras that we used that did. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There were a couple guys in the mission that were in those scenes that had problems. Yeah. So there's probably a major character slipping my head that I can't think of right now.
Hey, no worries. I have a clarification as well from the question asker.
Okay.
They wanted to know if you know of any other actors who have special needs. Maybe not even the ones that were in your film specifically, but any ones that would stick out to you that have special needs.
Like professional actors, yeah. I mean, there was that kid. Do you remember that show? I think it was called. His name was Corky, and he was a kid with Down syndrome, and he was on that show that was on TV that was really popular. I just can't remember it at this moment. It was many moons ago that it was on TV.
Okay.
It was a family show. I can't remember the name of it though.
Okay.
But his name was Corky. But There are Tom Cruise has dyslexia. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I actually didn't know that.
Tom Cruise has dyslexia. Yes, he does.
Dan Aykroyd has autism.
Oh, David Fox says life goes on.
Dan Aykroyd.
That's it. Life goes on. Good one. Good call. Yes.
There you go. David Fox for that.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd has autism.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Dan Aykroyd does.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that there are others that have diagnosis of disabilities, but higher on the spectrum probably. But there are those that come out and talk about it though, and I think dyslexia is a big one. And Tom Cruise, they say when he gets a movie script, all the letters are crazy. Like to him, it's so bad that the letters are all backwards. He can't read it, so he has to memorize. Like that's why he's such a good actor, I guess, because he really gets into those roles and he doesn't have to worry about what the paper says. It's what he does,
Yeah.
I have a lot of.
I'm sure after this, that was a great question. I'm sure after this, a whole bunch of disability and come to my head, and I'm going to be like, this guy, that guy, that one.
That's
There's
how
a
it
big
always
one. I
works.
just can't think of who it is. There was
I have a friend who's an actor. I mean, who has autism. Atticus Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
He's related to Daniel Baldwin, and
His
he has
name's
autism.
Atticus Baldwin?
Yeah, Atticus Baldwin.
And Daniel Baldwin is Adam Baldwin's brother.
Adam Baldwin and Alec.
There's a lot of Baldwins. Yeah, I think Atticus is his son, right?
Yeah, Atticus has autism. I'm friends with him.
Yes, I think Atticus is the nephew of Adam.
You guys know the Baldwins?
So Ben met Atticus through
Zoom for movie chat.
So yeah, I think it was on Fridays that you do it.
It was a Saturday night, and it was like Saturday movie chat, and he loves Thomas the Tank Engine.
You do on Saturdays though, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, on Saturdays Ben has this group of friends, or it's this event where they get together and they watch a movie together.
And they chat,
and then they talk about it afterwards.
Oh, right on. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
And so was Atticus? Is he a member or was he like on the?
He was a member of the club.
Oh, okay, he's a member. Of
and he always talks about Thomas and Friends all the time.
Thomas the Tank Engine. That's his favorite thing to talk about. It's like you and roller coasters, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, David, I really appreciate you taking some time to come on the show. As soon as Ben had mentioned that you were willing to be a guest, I was like, yeah, we got to get him on. Because not only is your openness huge, but I think, you really exemplify kind of what we're trying to get at as a show, and just giving people an open platform to talk about their life and how they got to where they are, so that other people can learn from the successes and the failures of those that are on the show.
I think I'm going to watch the movie again tonight.
Yeah? You going to watch it again tonight? Ben loves watching
I've inspired you to watch it for the 4th time. I've seen it many times myself. Yeah.
Yes.
I was so happy when it came out on Amazon Prime. I put it on my TV and
and
it's cool because Prime has like all the actors and you can look at all
Yeah, so true.
It's just cool, man.
Yeah. Amazon Prime, is it free for us?
Yeah, we should have it. Yeah,
you should be able to watch it for free if you own Amazon Prime. Yeah,
there you go.
Oh, well, I'm watching now on Amazon Prime. There I go.
Well, we have the copy, even if not. But
Prime, yeah.
But
yeah. And just to really quick again, to people that the Broad Theater is going to be a really great screening for all of you that are listening right now, and we'll watch this later on YouTube or wherever. We're going to be giving away free. Everybody that comes gets a DVD. So come on out. It'll be well worth it. Your money's going to go to a good cause, to charity, and it's going to be a really great time. And we might even have Ben kind of hinted toward it. We'll see what happens. Maybe some special guests. We'll see what happens.
I love it.
We already have Ben. That's all we need.
That's true.
Maybe Bill Burger will show up.
Yeah.
Or maybe some Eagles cheerleaders.
I love it.
That'd be funny.
That would be amazing.
But I want to thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it, Dan and Ben. Ben, you inspire me. Believe me, when I was at that church, I knew right away you were going to be my friend forever, man. I could tell right away. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You were out there promoting my film before I even got there, telling everybody, to walk this way, and you were helping people at the front door. And
that's what I'm going to do that day. I'm going to wear a nice suit. Like when you were there that day, I'm going to wear a nice suit. I'm going to put this over top.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna direct people and help them get to the seats.
Yeah, I'm going to do valet parking.
I'm
gonna
do
all of it. I'd rather have you inside greeting people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that is
actually, I do know people who do limousines in Lansdale. So if you need a limousine, I'm kidding.
Hey man. We'll talk about it.
There you go. Yeah, Ben is in his element when he's just greeting and talking to people.
He was amazing, man. I want to thank you again, Dan and Ben both. And Sandy and Glenn, I met your mom and dad. They were awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to mom and dad. Love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, you are really an inspiration. And I was, as soon as I got home, you watched my movie, but as soon as I got home, I went to your website and I looked at all the stuff you've done. And I don't know how I missed Ben Hartranft. I don't know how I missed this guy, this amazing, inspiring guy who was on Ellen and was friends with John Dornbos and who himself has an amazing story. I mean, the guy almost died. He had a heart attack, right?
Yeah,
John is an incredible story.
Yeah, his story is incredible.
His book, he has a great book. I don't know if you've read it, but I just saw his magic show on Saturday, and he's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
He's just an
incredible. The world's greatest long snapper, man.
Wild. Another crazy story where God really intervened and helped him.
He's an amazing dude, but you can see that Ben keeps good company. I mean, Dan, your brother.
My brother's the best. He's the best vice president.
Best vice president of our Razed Typical show
that you've ever had.
Yes, exactly. I got a plaque in my room.
Yeah, I think the future holds some pretty cool stuff for us and
for
the movie. I'm very excited. Yeah. Oh, hey,
for sure. All right, David. Thank you so much. It's been a blast, and we will see. Me and Ben will both see you soon. And anyone else that's watching, we hope to see you at the Broad Theater,
December 12th.
It's going to be great. We're going to have a blast.
Right.
We're going to sell it out. We're going to sell out.
I love it.
Yeah, we are. 2 shows, right, Ben?
Yes.
Start promoting it tonight. Get
I love
people
it.
out there.
All right.
God bless, guys. Thank you.
Thank you as well, for sure. Have a good one.
Having autism is not a bad thing. It doesn't characterize who we are. Everyone is unique and special, just like a rainbow. Be kind to one another this week, guys. Go buy somebody Starbucks. Bye-bye.
I love it.
Thank you, David.